outgoing Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Festus Keyamo, has described the designation of Minister of State as a constitutional aberration, saying that it is practically not working for those appointed into the position. Keyamo said this in his validatory statement titled "A Heart Full of Unquantifiable Gratitude to President Muhammadu Buhari and Recommendation to Address the Constitutional Conundrum of Minister of State." The minister faulted the concept and appointment of people into the position of Minister of State. Part of his statement said, "What I am about to say, therefore, is not and should not be construed as an indication of ingratitude. Far from it, what I am about to say is just my own little contribution to our constitutional development as a relatively young democracy and to aid future governments to optimize the performance of those they appoint as ministers. Mr. President, the concept or designation of Minister of State is a constitutional aberration and is practically not working for many so appointed. Successive governments have come and gone, and many who were appointed as Minister of State have not spoken out at a forum such as this because of the risk of sounding ungrateful to the president who appointed them. However, like I said earlier, this is not ingratitude. As a private citizen, I am on record to have gone to court a number of times to challenge unconstitutional acts of government for the sake of advancing our constitutional democracy. So it will be out of character for me to have gone through government and be carried away by the pomp of public office and forget my role as a member of the inner bar and myself imposed role over the years as a crusader for democracy and constitutionalism. Mr. President, I crave your indulgence to explain this constitutional conundrum of Minister of State Section 147 and 148 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended deal with the appointments and responsibilities of Minister of the Federation. The said section states as follows. Section 147 of 1, there shall be such offices of Minister of the Government of the Federation as may be established by the President. 2. Any appointment to the office of Minister of the Government of the Federation shall, if the nomination of any person to such office is confirmed by the Senate, be made by the President. Any appointments under Section 2 of this Constitution by the President shall be in conformity with the provisions of Section 14 of 3 of the Constitution, provided that in giving effect to the provisions aforesaid, the President shall appoint at least one minister from each state who shall be an indigene of such state. He further quoted Section 148, which provided 1. The President may, in his discretion, assign to the Vice President or any minister of the government of the Federation responsibility for any business of the government of the Federation, including the administration of any department of government. Keyamo further stated that the 7th schedule to the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria provides for the oath of office in which each minister must subscribe, saying that there are no different oaths for minister and minister of state. They all take the same oath of state. In addition to the above, the ministers designated appear before the Senate and agreed and cleared as ministers, not as ministers in some instances and ministers of state in some other instances. It is at the point of assignment of portfolios that successive presidents then reclassified some as ministers of state. Some may want to justify this by saying the president is given the discretion by the Constitution to assign whatever responsibility or responsibilities he likes to ministers. Yes, I concede Mr. President can do that, but not by a designation different from that prescribed by Constitution. Simply put, it is akin to the president assigning responsibilities to the office of the vice president and redesignating that office as deputy president under our present constitution. That is clearly impossible. Why then should that of the ministers be different? What is more, ministers are appointed pursuant to section 147 of 3 of the 1999 Constitution to represent each state of the Federation. Therefore, ministers sit in cabinet as the eye of Mr. President in each state of the Federation. It is therefore against the intendment of the drafters of Constitution of our Constitution for a representative of a state to be classified as against another representative of another state. The schedules of duties of ministers and minister of state that intend to cure some of these anomalies hardly help the issues. Firstly, the schedules of duties are observed more in breach by the permanent secretaries and directors, who really cannot be expected to serve two masters, and in any case, many of the rules of both ministers are so ambiguous that the bureaucrats would always interpret them to satisfy the ones they see as the senior ministers or main ministers for the fear of being persecuted by them. Secondly, again, he said, secondly, part of the schedules of duties seem to suggest that the ministers can delegate functions to ministers of state. This is a constitutional impossibility. It is only Mr. President that can delegate presidential powers, as one cannot delegate what he does not have delegatus non potest delega. In any case, how can someone who took the same oath of office with another delegate functions to that order? Thirdly, the schedules of duties leave so many gaping holes that bring conflicts between the ministers and ministers of state. In addition, the provision that ministers of state cannot present memos in council except with the permission of the minister is another anomaly. It means the discretion of the minister of state is subsumed in the discretion of the minister, yet both of them represent different states in cabinet. It also follows that it will be difficult to assess the individual performances of the ministers of state, since their discretion is shackled under the discretion of the ministers. Original ideas developed by a minister of state are subject to clearance by another colleague in cabinet before they can see through for the consideration by council. The drafters of our constitution obviously did not intend this. As a result, many ministers of state are largely redundant, with many going to the office for symbolic purpose and just to while away the time. Files are passed to them to treat only at the discretion of the other ministers and the permanent secretary, yet the minister of state will receive either praise or condemnation for the successes or failure of such ministries. I understand that when this practice first surfaced in the First Republic, it was used as a contraption to give a semblance of government of national unity, when in actual fact no real power was ceded to the opposition members who opted into government, who were mostly designated as the minister of state, so as to keep them in check under the leadership of the ruling party's minister. But over time, the custom has come to stay, and now it has been established as a norm, even regarding the minister from the same ruling party. In fact, the political absurdity that has emerged from this is that some ministers of state won more votes from their state, from the party in power, than the main minister. So guys, can you just imagine Keyamo? When Keyamo don't chop money finish, now Keyamo can't know say this thing is unconstitutional, this position where they give them. No wonder people they only talk say, what Keyamo they do? Minister of state, a minister of labor for state, what did they do? No wonder he concentrates on Obi. He no get work now. See, you hear what's in the yarn. He just be like say you don't put them for there, but they collect salary. And this thing don't happen. He say no be saying that this time it don't happen before. But when they can't give you, why you no can't reject and say no, this is not right. You can't collect money finish. Not before 1 night be this. Yeah, this is to me. This one read 419, 419 and 4110. Buhari is a proof that Nigeria can work without a president. We have endured and survived 8 years of torture, hunger and severe hardship under Buhari and his agents of economic disaster. May the incoming administration not lose focus too quick. like this clueless and divisive administration led by a Sudanese. Festus Keyamo, the charge and bail lawyer, without proper reasoning, who always speak under the influence of too much drug consumption and too much alcoholic drinks. Very sad indeed. Mad people everywhere. It is given to those that are not relevant just for political competition. That is why some people who occupy such positions spend all their time and energy on social media platforms because of lack of responsibility. E.g., no wonder na so be you go just even some irrelevant things just for you to be relevant. Irrelevant things you go dey shook me mouth put. People will be asking, this one na san? Now go dey shook mouth for even some irrelevant things, looking for trouble. No wonder I was looking for propaganda to propaganda. I remember in the year 2011, my grandfather told me that, okay, this one is saying something else. He's talking now that his time is up. He practiced table manner for 8 years. Don't talk when you are eating. He was attacking everyone to defend his office. Now he suddenly realized that the position means nothing. Minister of State are largely redundant. So says the baby minister, Festus Keyamo, after serving as Minister of State. Ogun go kpai all of you. Was that why he spent most of his time on Twitter? Exactly. You can now see. Haha, lousy and shameful Keyamo. To make such statements, he should be arrested, prosecuted, and forced to return all his allowances and salaries paid to him for constitutionally performing illegal services. It is criminal and fraudulent, meaning he was intentionally defrauding Nigeria government. Failed government, every family has that one person who breaks the circle of financially struggles for the entire family. If you are reading this, may you be the person. Waiting can concern me. Let interim government take over this. Cry me a river. Don't worry. Understand, Tinubu, you will be made Minister of Information. He wants more juicy portfolio so that he can steal more money. Ingrate, I guess you just realize it, Abi. All this why. Story for another day. They just they break near Abi. For your information, even if Tinubu won't be Nigeria president for no see give you any position, now that Twitter job now fit you because you are a nuisance. If they make you first minister, you will dance naked on the street. Shey, you see all of them, all the people that are collecting money, say you serve for 8 years, it's supposed to be illegal. They are all thieves, but this one no go talk. Like I've always said, all of them are always on the waiting list. They know what is bad. They don't want to say it because they themselves they want to enter the list so that they will continue. Maybe they will chop their own national cake. They will keep quiet. That is what we have been seeing in this country. You see how bad these people can be. So this one, I didn't want to talk. Say you don't get moral this thing, moral stand to be talking about Peter Obi. In every ramification, Peter Obi is greater and is better than all of you. You are talking. Is that not an offense for you not to have talked and you collected the money due to that thing, or they not pay you? They not pay you. It's so unfortunate.